Okay, fam, this is Pastor G. And you won't believe what Lady G and I just went through. On October 7th, 2025, I boarded American Airlines Flight 1533 from Washington Reagan to Miami International Airport, right through those doors back there somewhere. A trip that was meant to be peaceful, a trip to rest, reflect, and reconnect with my wife. Y'all, we really needed to rest. But what happened next wasn't peace. It was profiling. It was power abuse. It was the humiliation of an innocent black man, clergy, calm, seated, sensible, treated like a criminal because of another man's lie. Let me tell you what happened. As we boarded the plane, we noticed that the overhead bin above our seats was broken. It was literally taped shut. So my wife says, very simply, just put the bag in one of the open bins towards the front. She pointed forward towards the bin that happened to be near an exit row. That single gesture, her pointing, was misread, twisted, and weaponized. Apparently, another young black passenger, another young man, had also asked to sit in the handicap row or somewhere near a handicap row. And somehow, in that moment, the flight attendant, who never asked for clarification, never listened, never cared to listen, decided that we wanted to sit in the exit row. That was the furthest thing from the truth. We were content right where we were. We were not seeking privilege. I was eating my food. We were seeking space for our bag, and that was all. But assumption turned into accusation. The flight attendant left and returned with reinforcements. Now, 2 attendants are standing over me, towering. Their posture was interrogating. Their tone was like threatening. They claimed that I said something that I did not say. Yet, I smiled. I stayed calm. I repeated myself. I'm fine where I'm seated. I never asked to move to the exit row. I spoke respectfully, calmly. I was still seated, but the female attendant, looking down at me from her standing position as if my composure offended her, literally called me rude. Rude for what? Defending my truth? For being calm while you're accusing me? For being a black man unwilling to accept a false narrative that I said something I didn't say? From that word, rude, everything changed. Suddenly, I had made her uncomfortable. Now, let's be clear. Behaviors that make flight attendants feel unsafe include physical, verbal assaults, threats, harassment, refusing instructions, and none of these things happened in this situation. I didn't yell, I didn't threaten, I didn't move from my seat, I didn't want to move from my seat. But they, the attendants, intimidated me. They harassed me. They lied on me. They called literally for security on me. And when I was asked if I'd be willing to apologize, to have a kumbaya moment, even though I was against it, I said yes, because I wanted peace. I wanted the flight to move on. I wanted to get to my destination. I did not want any more delays. I didn't want anybody else to go through anything else. But the male attendant refused. He said he felt unsafe with me on the plane. Unsafe? I was the one surrounded by officers. I was the one detained. I was the one questioned. I was the one humiliated while doing literally nothing wrong. Now, I've seen people removed from planes before. You have too. People who shouted, they cursed, they fought, they refused, they kicked, they screamed, they cussed, they fussed. That wasn't me. I'm Pastor G. I'm calm. I'm respectful. I smiled the whole time. I left the plane without any disruption. But to them, I was simply another black man whose composure was mistaken for aggression, whose dignity was read as defiance. Now, I'm going to pray for those who despitefully used me, those 2 American airline attendants. But prayer doesn't erase the pain of my wife's tears. Forgiveness does not erase accountability. If they're allowed to lie on a passenger who has done absolutely nothing wrong to humiliate him, delay his trip, cause him financial loss and emotional harm, then where does justice begin for passengers like me? When does my voice get heard? When does the real truth get its day? Because on that flight right there, There was no due diligence, no corroboration, no fairness, no empathy, just a lie that became law aboard American Flight 1533. I speak today to y'all, not only for myself, but for every traveler who has ever been profiled, disrespected, and silenced in the air. We demand accountability. I demand accountability. We demand training. We demand the truth, not fear, govern these spaces meant for safety and service on the ground and in the air. No one should be humiliated for simply being themselves. No one should be threatened for telling their truth. No one should lose their dignity on an airline or an airplane that claims to represent the American name. This was an atrocity, not a misunderstanding. And if justice means anything anymore, someone at American Airlines will listen, investigate, roll the tape, and correct this injustice so that no one else has to endure what we endured. This is Pastor G, and this is my truth about American Airlines Flight 1533.